Hello again, everyone. Well, I still have other things planned and for this period ahead of us, but due to circumstances, this is gonna be another one of the videos that's gonna be a bit more serious than usual, which I don't think I've done one of this scale since I was talking about the COVID situation last November, or, but given what's transpired as of late, I think it's definitely necessary for me to address this. I mean, as to the recent outbreak of the novel coronavirus, also known as COVID-19, in affecting almost all matters of day-to-day life. I mean, for the sake of argument, I'm not going to get into every single aspect because that would take way too long. Other people have done it kind of besides me, but I will put it right out here, specifically a respiratory illness that is distinct from the usual allergies, cold, or even flu, which is the last one's most similar to, but specifically, if you have trouble breathing or have other respiratory illness history, you're probably the most at risk. I'll add a photos with the links in the description to help show you more about this before I get the next meat of this. So, as you can tell, this is not exactly the first outbreak I've lived through in my life. Nor is the first time where people are concerned and not wanting to go out unless they have to, which, it's easy to get caught up in all the paranoia, I'll admit, but one of the best things you can do right now is to keep a level head, make sure you have adequate and accurate information in front of you. I know it's kind of easy to get mixed up in all this, but I'll let you know one thing, in that given how this respiratory issue, I don't know why people are so on about bath tissue, which doesn't make a lot of sense given how, as you can tell, the symptoms are coming right from the CDC and the Mayo Clinic, which again, links in the description, and it doesn't really fit the digestive system. But just to give you a kind of idea of the how some people have taken to this trend of panic buying, which I'm not partaking in. Just a photo I from my most recent trip to Thriftway is next. Yeah. So as you can tell, hell, it was just fine the other day, and now the whole supply battery's basically been cleaned out, at least for the time being. And the way to transition into my main subject of this video and how it's affecting other stuff, like how I just briefly searched for how much supplies of hand sanitizer are going for. I've seen them go for up to and including $400, which is the same cost someone would give an Xbox One X with a cup of Java and order attached to it. But so my main address is like the video game industry and other entertainment and parts of the entertainment industry have been impacted by this, such as several other things I was planning on addressing, such as the new Milan, the New Mutants, and the latest James Bond film, No Time to Die, have all been pushed back to later dates. It's Bond will be coming out in November, much like the previous ones, the Craig era. Uh, the other two films are being pushed back later to be determined, and there's going to talk about some of the other releases under Disney's banner being potentially postponed as well. And on top of this, as Frozen 2 has also come to Disney Plus earlier than expected to help families cope with the social distancing, which I'll admit it's less an issue for someone like me who usually does most of their stuff online and indoors anyway. Hey, but that's on a more that's just on my small micro scale, if that makes sense. On a larger macro scale, hey, numerous big events have been postponed and or outright canceled. The Game Developers Conference, which is found out about, how it's was originally intended for this week, but it's been pushed back to summer. We shall see about that. As South by Southwest, as the Music and Media Festival, has been canceled. I mean, but most notably, the Electronic Entertainment Expo, which would have been the 25th anniversary of the show since their first conference in 1995, has been completely canceled. I mean, it was already had a called into question, and given some events surrounding it last year, but ultimately they've made a decision to who pull the plug on the show for this year. I mean, there's talk about bringing it back next year, but we'll see what happens. What I can see happening is that with Nintendo, the direct presentations, as opposed to some coming this month that might address, depending on what happens. They haven't had a live conference there since the year 2011, 9 years ago, almost 10. And I could see other developers and publishers using that model as well, just doing things online streaming instead. And I mean, since Sony was already planning on seeing the show out via their own streams, games, and Devolver Digital, who also has been active in almost every show since the company's formation, and and will also be doing their own direct presentation in lieu of the live conference, which usually tend to be some of the highlights, otherwise unimpressive ones, but still. As for me in the situation, and I may have mixed feelings as a whole on the matter, but in this particular instance, I ultimately understand his decision to do so, given in the situation, hence my choice of thumbnail. I mean, how on that note, some of the other ones I had planned, and for the rest of this month, as well as the rest of this year for that matter, will be pushed back to reflect this. Others I already have in motion will be reconfigured, heard, but some others will proceed as scheduled. You'll just have to wait and see what some of the other ones are. So I leave you with a mantra I hope you take to heart, and it's been really effective for me. Stay safe, reject fear, embrace facts.